Hello everyone, I'm Xiaogang. Okay, in this lesson we'll guide you through writing our plugin. First of all, we still need to create our files. We'll walk you through creating them step by step, because this chapter is really a bit difficult, to be honest. It involves too much content, and the code in this chapter is basically commercial grade code. Well, let's name it Xiaogang Scott Tat. Then we call it subsystem. That's the .bh file. Okay, after you have this .th file, I'll turn off the sound. Then we go to the part. We write the CP file. Okay, and then here we go to our type. Okay, we generally write an STT here. Okay, because we have quite a bit to write. Let's paste 3 first. Paste 1 first. This one, we'll call it STT's request type. Okay, next is the response. Response type. Then next is our type. Just a simple type will do. Okay. Okay, for these two types, we actually need to add their corresponding CPPT files. Let's call it. This should actually be H. We pasted it in the wrong spot, but it's fine. STT. Let's go back to our polite. Type STD, and this side is Thai CPP. Okay, after completing this, the things we need are basically ready. Actually, it's better to add one more thing. Let's add a BP library. This way, it's convenient for everyone to call it. Okay, let's write it here. Let's paste one. Paste a pipe. VP library. It should be written like this. Okay, let's clear the contents inside. If you don't clear it, there might be problems. It might recognize the file inside here. Then we also write it in the ProLite. Then at this point, let's refresh the project. Yeah, refresh the project. Let's wait a moment. Why is the refresh a bit slow? That's fine for today. Reload it. Okay, then next, let's first modify this part of ours. There's a B clip here where we haven't written anything yet. Let's first update the module's information. We might need to add an STT here because we added a new folder. We want it to be more convenient when including it. Don't let it nest too deeply. Okay, then for the module information on this side, we need to add to it. First, we can just add it inside polite. It first needs these two. These two modules are related to audio. Everyone can click in and take a look. The AudioCapture plugin, when we briefly used it, we'll just go over it quickly. It's related to WebSocket. Basically, that's it for now. And on this side, because we used other plugins to ensure there are no issues here, so we, at this point here, we add a field to it. Note that there is a comma here because it's another field. All these fields are host. So we add AudioCapture to enable it. Then we go back to this place here. Okay, now we need to call these two. We guarantee that our H files will take care of all of these. Okay. And also the subsystem .bh file. After that's done, we'll handle their CPP files. Okay, we'll still guide you through it step by step. And here, we need to handle its rex CPP here. Okay, so make sure not to paste it in the wrong place. If you paste it wrong, it will sometimes cause circular dependencies or issues like incorrect dependency locations. The red lines here are normal. Because we modified the Build.cs, we haven't done a refresh, compile, or anything like that yet. And we should also modify this BP library. Here. Okay. Let's compile it first to make sure there are no errors. Okay, actually, we still have things to clean up on this side. I'll add it here in the same way, because there's quite a bit. So I'll pause here for now. And then let me double check with everyone. We also need to add a thread, and then add another one. This AudioCapture subsystem. I'll pause here. Okay, I've already added the other thread and this subsystem as well. And the secondary path is the same. There shouldn't be any issues up to this point, right? Then we'll still guide everyone to create these things in our entire file. I'm not sure if everyone is watching selectively. Yeah, I'm also worried that if you skip around, you might miss something. Obviously, we generally need a biplab here, right? So let's copy this bip label over. First, we need to include this bip library parent class. Let's include our call here. We've included the minimal dependencies. Nothing much there. Then this should definitely be a U class, right? U class. And it needs to be used by external module. So obviously here we need a derived red one. Let's find a derived red one. It should be here, this derived red one. And its name must start with U. Starting with U, it should be called this name. Then let it inherit our BP library. Let's put it here. Then we add this generate body. I added this generate body. And at this point, because we have this reflection information, we need to let it include the relevant files for reflection generation. Here we input this Generate.h file. Okay, after this, let's compile it. At this point, it should compile successfully. There shouldn't be any issues. We haven't written the method here yet. This doesn't affect anything. Okay, good. No issues here. So now let's go to our subsystem. Then we'll write this subsystem here. This subsystem doesn't need tick. Let's see if we can copy one over. Otherwise, writing this would be a bit long. We should have a subsystem we can copy from here. Okay, fine, let's copy it. I really think we only need this top part. Let's paste it. Okay, back. Good, we need to go back here. This is content from our previous lesson. I hope everyone studied it well and didn't skip it. Now we need to paste this into the non-h file. Oh, it should be here. Then, after pasting, first, let's change the export macro, because this export macro is particularly easy to miss. And we don't need the stickable anymore. There's no problem with the front part. Then, we need to change this name. This name should be this name. Okay, we need to change this here too. As for this proxy, we don't write it in this position. We haven't used it yet. Okay, at this point, let's create it. It's implementation. Let me think, since we need to write something here, let's still create it in the CPP. Okay, after creating the implementation, let's write the parent class methods that need to be called in the corresponding implementation. Okay. Then let's also write its corresponding structure here. We no longer need this subsystem. We no longer need to write its constructor, because it's too low level. After finishing writing this, let's compile it first. Let's make sure every step is correct. Okay, after the compilation is complete, we'll just copy this code over, then put it into the AudioCapture system. Okay, let's just copy it over. Then we'll just change the name. As for the name, it's this name. It's this one. And for this part, note, don't include the U here. This part needs to include you. And as for this implementation, let's create it all at once as well. Okay, then here we can call it. Actually, we call this over. Of course, you can type it slowly. It doesn't matter. Okay. Then let's go back to this thread. In this thread, we can also call this code. No problem. As for this thread, first we need to include some header files. These header files are these two header files. We might use this later. The offboard of 12, this thing, then the name of this header file. We call it this name. As for this name, right, it is actually how we consume audio threads. Such a class. A thread, it is not a real thread, because we know about multi-threading. This is just a task designed for multi-threading. Then we have 4 methods to override here. Then we write it with a public access modifier. Then here we actually need a constructor. So we need a ready-made name. As for this constructor, let's write it right here. We no longer need this enum. This enum is used to distinguish different. Because this enum might be from the previous plugin, we may have different ways of using audio in different situations. Because some audio requires different capture frequencies or transmission frequencies, we used an enum to distinguish them. Hopefully we won't need that anymore. We'll write this boolean here. Okay, let's create its implementation together. Okay. There's no need to keep repeating what these 4 functions mean. Right. For this init, we'll just set it to true. Okay, when it stops, first, we'll set this to a while loop. We'll use a while loop. Okay. When it's false, we break out. Okay, so we'll just leave it alone. Then when it exits, we also give this to it. Let's take a look at stop. Here, we write the position, give a force here, then put this on top. Just return a 0 here as well. It should be like this. Okay, then when we exit, okay, just do it this way. Okay, basically, we've set up the framework for everyone. As for the things we need to use, that's about it. Then pay attention to this type. Aren't these the types we wrote here? For these types, don't include the reflection file yet, because if you include the reflection file here, it won't work. The reflection file hasn't been generated yet, because you haven't included that UObject, enum, or struct. If you, for example, use this file here and include the reflection file like this, you'll find it's normal that it won't compile. Right? You can see it won't compile this way. Even if you write a delegate in here, it won't work. And that is, it must have reflection support here. Okay, so we'll stop here for this part. As for this log, we'll just use the same log. Let's create another log. Yeah, let's create another log. Let's compile it again. Make sure there are no issues. Alright, so we'll end this lesson here. Thank you, everyone.